The van has been sold to Paul Marshall, a vintage TV enthusiast who's going to restore it. Its condition has deteriorated over the years, so there was plenty of work to do to get it roadworthy for the journey to its new home. Since it arrived at the hospital 18 years ago, it's not moved more than a few feet. The engine has not been started for 10 years, but overall the mechanics have remained in exceptionally good condition. It looked very scruffy as it hadn't been washed for many years, and vandals had taken their toll by smashing the windscreen and the lights. A team of 6 came down from Lincoln to collect it. Everyone knew exactly what he or she needed to do to get the thing on the road. It needed new batteries to get it running, a clean appearance to avoid unnecessary attention from passing police. Sam, Paul's resident HGV mechanic, had declared the vehicle completely roadworthy. A tax disc, last valid in 1983, was replaced with a new one, but this time free because the vehicle's so old. As big boys' toys go, this must count as one of the biggest ever. Most people would question why anybody would ever want an enormous outside broadcast vehicle. But for Paul, this is just another to make a pair.
I've got a track record on this sort of thing, having done up one already, the Southern Television vehicle, which was a similar size, not quite so tall but a little bit longer, and that's taken 6 years to get to the point where it's at now, which is 90% complete with 4 working cameras. This one will go through a similar mill, and hopefully within perhaps a little less than that, because there's less to do on this one, we will have 4 cameras up and running in this. Perhaps a little newer than the Southern ones, but hopefully we'll be taking it around some of the shows, steam and vintage vehicle rallies and various technical exhibitions that we attend throughout the course of the year. So 5 years from now.
Right. The biggest job of the day was replacing the smashed windscreen. 35 years after the van was built, most of the parts now have to be made specially for it. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief as the new glass fitted into place. Next came the moment of truth. Everyone held their breath as it looked as if the day may end in failure. But this truck was made of stronger stuff. The Marconi company built the van back in 1967 for Yorkshire Television. It had a long history, as it was the very first colour outside broadcast unit used by YTV. After Yorkshire retired it from service, it was sold to the Central Electricity Generating Board, where it was used for making commercials and training videos. After a few years there, it came to the hospital. When the TV station was launched at Harefield in 1983, it was donated to the hospital by a patient who worked for the CEGB in the video unit. For many years, it was used as a production centre for all the hospital's television programmes. However, the TV equipment inside was very old and unreliable. So some years ago, it was replaced with newer technology in the studio building. From then on, the van was largely forgotten, only being used as a storeroom. There was one person, however, who never quite forgot it.
Well, I first saw this vehicle not that long after it had arrived here. I saw it, must have been about 83, 84, and I've had my eye on it ever since. I sort of logged its presence and thought, well, one day, and of course, here it is, here we are now, sort of 18 years down the road, and it's mine. And we hope we can give it a very good home.
Perhaps the most surprising thing of all, Paul's wife isn't worried about him getting his second outside broadcast vehicle.
Providing it says Marconi on it, I'm all right, because we both used to work for the Marconi company, and the Marconi company built this vehicle all those years ago, in 1967, 68, and as we both worked for Marconi for some years, as long as it says Marconi on, I'm all right.
Finally, with everything ready, there was a ceremonial handing over of the cheque. With the TV studio coffers swelled, it was time for the 150-mile journey to commence. As it moved slowly out of the hospital for the first time in its 18-year history at Harefield. It may be 6 years or more before it's fully restored, but one day you may well see it back on the road or being used to televise an event. Whatever happens, we wish Paul luck, A few of us might even miss having it at Harefield.